Alright, we've got two tasks in this video. Over here on the left, our job is to determine whether or not any lines are parallel and to use some theorems to prove it. So we have a set of angles right here that would be corresponding angles of these two lines, M and N. And so since they are both 90-degree angles, those corresponding angles are congruent to each other. By the corresponding angles theorem, we can tell that line N and M are parallel to each other. Now, the diagram makes it look like this is parallel to those other two, and it also makes it look like P and Q are parallel to each other. However, this 90-degree angle is not in a position where we can compare it to these two 90-degree angles, because it's not on the same transversal as those. We can see that that angle on the top is part of line P as a transversal, and then these two are part of line Q as a transversal. Since they do not share a transversal, we cannot determine whether or not they're parallel. And so this line right here is unknown. We do not know if it's parallel to either of those other two, and P and Q also unknown. So we have enough evidence for these two, but not for anything else. In the question over here on the right, we're supposed to determine the measure of all of the angles. Some of them are given. This one, for example, is 90 degrees because of that symbol. And then we have these two that are given to us. And the rest of them, we're supposed to use some facts of angles. So here, for example, we've got these two angles are created out of two straight lines. Those two straight lines intersecting each other create some vertical angles, so those vertical angles are congruent. So we can say that this is 30 degrees. Alright, now we've got a set of angles here, this one, and the one up at the top that's 90 degrees, that make up this straight line right here. So since those two angles together make up a straight line, they must add up to 180 degrees. That means that this set of angles right here needs to be 90 degrees. Now we have 30 for angle 3, and this angle right here is 40 degrees. What's left over to make 90 degrees? Well, that would be 20 degrees, because 30 plus 40 is 70, plus another 20 is 90 degrees. That leads us to this angle over here. Alright, that angle we can get in a couple of ways. It's a vertical angle to this one, so we know it's 90 degrees. Or you could say it's a supplementary angle to what we just did right here, all of these three, which together were 90 degrees. Either way, this needs to be either congruent to the vertical angle or 90, so that this adds up to 180 with these three. Alrighty, and the last angle that we have is 2, and so kind of the same as what we just did. We've got a 90-degree angle here. This angle is 30, which means this angle must be 60 degrees in order for us to complete that 90-degree angle. That gives us enough information for all of the angles, and we are finished.